Does this work? 1, 2, 3, tick. Oh my god! Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Scrap Mechanic with me, Spacefish. It's been a long while, and we apparently already have a very happy Toadbot coming towards us to greet us and shake our hands and get slapped in the face a bit because he wants to destroy something in my base. I already know it. But yeah, so it has been yet another week for us, and if you'll remember in the last episode, we actually made some decent progress. I just got hurt by running into a drill that was not running. Very interesting, but we made actually some decent progress. We got this thing more or less running now, honestly. We've got 2 drills on it. We've got all our design work, at least in terms of functional design, somewhat done. We've got a nice and filled up fuel tank, and we already went on a first mining run and raked in a good bunch of ore for our purposes, and well, I was pretty happy with how everything worked overall. Now, we're definitely by far not done with this thing just yet, and let me just pick up the second collector right here again, because I did actually use that to grab some things with my exploration vehicle, but we're coming along with that very, very nicely, and I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. Now, as I said, I took some stuff off my exploration vehicle, because fortunately, one more POI back there did respawn in between episodes, and if we have a look into my trusty inventory right here, you will see that I have made some progress on some things indeed. For one, we've got 9 component kits. One of the 10 that I actually found, I put into a piston, which the purpose of that piston I will certainly be able to explain to you all very shortly, I hope. Then we also have a water container, same thing, we will explain that in a bit. And we have got 2 drills, of course, because the drills, I think, are the most obvious part right here. We do have another 2 bearings in front of the mining vehicle here already, and we were, of course, kind of looking to expand on our drills and expand on the mining speeds of this thing, so definitely going to go and slap those on right there as well. Now the question kind of being, I'm not sure, do we upgrade this engine far enough? No, so the engine's not upgraded enough, but that said, as I said, I've got another 9 component kits, and I'm kind of a bit worried because I do have some more plans this episode other than just upgrading the miner, so I'm hoping that upgrading this engine will not spoil those plans, but we will go for another upgrade, and I think it was this one here, right? The right one? It was indeed. So we will go for an upgrade on that engine then, and there's probably going to be more to come, because I don't think we will keep this at 4 drills forever, but for the time being then, that will allow us to get these 2 into action as well. Now, what we need to check, of course, is that the bearings go the right way, so that the torque cancels, well, the torque of the one drill cancels out the torque of the other drill, and then that should hopefully be fine. So let's go and check that out real quick. It doesn't seem to be itchy or trying to pull itself apart, so that's very nice. That's one job done for the start of the episode. Now, 4 drills. I think we're going to have to try that out later, just see how much better that works for us. I hope it is quite the boost for us indeed. Of course, we are also now, with that engine upgrade, getting a little more power out of that engine, so that should hopefully mean that those drills have a bit more torque behind them, a bit more oomph, and are kind of able to drill things apart a little faster. I'm not sure if that's actually a thing, by the way, but I felt that with a scrap engine, you know, sometimes that one drill that we had was getting very, very slow, and I felt that that was probably due to some lack of power. So I'm hoping that actually increasing engine power, well, actually upgrading the engine rather, doesn't just mean that we've got more efficiency going for us and can get more drills attached to the engine, but it also means that kind of due to the engine having overall more torque, we make more and quicker progress in terms of actually drilling things apart. So that's the theory right there. I hope that works that way. Let me know if you know down below in the comments. Would be great to know as always. But, well, that's the assumption for now. So hopefully that is going to be the way that that works. Now, I also actually just got these tomatoes that we had already kind of accidentally more or less planted. Got those all watered, so we get those out of the way, because now, of course, today the plan is actually to try and get our farm used. And, well, plant some plants there, probably defend it against some bots, and hopefully see how well that works. Alright, so what I want to do is kind of a bit more of a sophisticated approach than we were going for thus far, and let's maybe go over with our vehicle just to kind of save a few seconds here and there. Now, we kind of set this thing up with with 5 squares right here, and what I really want to try, and I'm not sure if I've got everything together here to actually give it a try, and I'm not sure how things work, so this will require a bit of experimentation probably, but I do want to give making this an automated farming system a try. That's why we have that water container, of course, because honestly I just can't imagine myself continuously just driving back and forth with buckets full of water trying to do this stuff. I may as well just go and use that water pump that we already have, grab all the water, put it into a water container over here, and have like a water cannon actually automatically water those fields for me. Now, how exactly that is supposed to work, I will have to admit I'm not 100% sure just yet. So it will probably be a bit of a challenge and a bit of something for us to find out, but that is what we are here to do today. So I think we will basically, for a start here, have a bit of a concrete pillar. Now the thing is, I think I would actually put it on here just to have a little bit of reinforcement around the outside here, and that's what I've also kind of created this piston for, because of course we will need some way to actually move such a water container along this grid right here. Now, where that water container would sit, I think it would be kind of between 2 fields. Now the thing that I'm also not quite sure about, and maybe we can just place down the water container real quick to see, I think it only has 2 points of access, which is kind of weird. But as you can see right here, I mean, this is pretty surely not a point of access. I think we only have the top one here, well, the side one here and the top one there, or whatever you want to, like, however you want to look at it, right? So the thing kind of is that, to my knowledge, we can then only really kind of put 2 water cannons onto this thing, which I don't really know. Maybe good, maybe totally bad, because I've got no clue really how the water cannon works, right? If it's just as if I was throwing a bucket, if it is like as if I was kind of, I don't know, like if it is like a wide spray and I don't have to worry about it that much. So we built a water cannon a while ago, and I think I thought we still had it on here, but apparently we don't. And let me maybe grab a switch already as well off that vehicle that we're not going to use anymore anyways, because I think we can use that. It seems we put the water cannon in here though. So we do have that thing, and I do want to try it out. Now, I don't know. I mean, we're just going to see how this works. I've not looked anything up, like, kind of, you know, I think you all know at this point that I really like to just explore things as I go together with you all, instead of kind of knowing everything and just doing it one thing after another. So this should be the water cannon attached. It may be a bit weirdly in terms of angle and all, but we can surely fix that, or not if I can't see how to do that. Maybe like this. I'm not quite sure actually. That does not seem all to attach. Let's just maybe put that somewhere real quick and see. No, is this the attachment point? Would this be the attachment point? It's kind of confusing to me right now. It feels like this would be the attachment point, but it does not look anything like the one here. I'm pretty sure we need to put this onto a water container though, no? So I feel this must be the right approach, but I'm kind of unsure. I guess there's only one way to find out, right? So what we can do, I've got a bit of water here still, so we're just going to use that. And we're maybe just going to put the switch here. And then we've got the water cannon right there. And that certainly does not work. So that's a good start, I guess. We also kind of have the ability of controlling the... No. Oh, right. Ah, okay, so... Wait, so does that mean we don't need to theoretically, physically attach the water cannon to the container? Because that would mean I only need one container and I could just move the water cannons along a grid instead of the container, keep the container in a fixed spot and have as many water cannons as I want. Because this seems to work more like, well, like a tank, you know, like a petrol tank, and less like, well, any sort of attached thing like the water pumps and stuff. Which is interesting. I would like to wait. Oh. Okay, so that went pretty far, to be honest. I'll have to say. But I'm very intrigued by this now. This actually is kind of cool. So what we can maybe do is just point it downwards and see how much you manage to water at once. We need to attach it again, of course. And how much did I use? Okay, so every activation is kind of once. So maybe we would need something like a timer here, I think. So that's something to consider. Because this always only seems to be one activation if I leave it on. So I think we should have all the components for a timer. I already looked at that earlier. And then just if kind of control this with the, like, control the timer with this, and then the timer just goes boop, 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 boop every so many seconds. But first things, it kind of pushes the pistons out, and then it goes boop again, then it pushes the piston out, and then it goes boop again. Something along those lines. I really don't know. I think this is going to be some complex logic right here. And this does actually only seem to be watering one field at once, which is kind of disappointing, because I had hoped that setting it up in the middle of the fields would kind of mean that I would be able to water multiple. Now, the thing is, with this thing... Did I get that back? I'm not sure. Okay, I do get it back. So that way we can kind of unwater it again, I suppose. But I hoped that by setting it up more in the middle like that, I can maybe water two fields at once. It does not look like it thus far, so we may need multiple cannons, or we could potentially just do it with two pistons. It would be some complex logic, though. Like, even this is probably already very complex logic, to be honest. And I think we would complicate it even... Whoops. Okay. So, that was unexpected. But yeah, so I think we would make it even more complex with two pistons, because, like, the timer would need to click this over 5 times, and then on the next tick would have to pull it all the way back and one to the right. And I'm also not sure if a timer can kind of, like... gradually extend the piston, or if it has to be like once the time it clicks the piston, it extends and then it goes like boop boop boop, and we have to time it properly. So I think this whole farming thing is going to be an interesting thing. There's going to be a lot of logic behind this, and well, it's not going to be all that easy, but that I think just makes it all the more interesting. So I hope you all are looking forward to that indeed. Now, I'm not quite sure how to do this here. I think I'm not sure. Let's go grab a timer first. I think we'll get a timer on the way first. It would be kind of nice if we would just have to use one water cannon and put it all over the place, but I'm not sure that's going to be the way that works for us. I'm going to bring some water for experimentation purposes as well. It's going to be complex. I think this is not going to be done in, like, minutes. We also have this logic gate thing, which I've never tried, which I've got no clue how to make it work. It seems to be applying some sort of logic to timers and triggers and everything. I don't know what kind of logics it helps me apply. I think we're just going to make one, just so we can check it out, you know, get all into all these items and hopefully have like a fancy complex bit of farming going right there. Now, of course, you know, this is only really a small intermediary farm. Like, I think we're going to be expanding quite a lot in the future, because from what I could tell, like, all the fancy things that we can get from the trader do require a lot of resources, so we probably want to make sure that we can farm all the things that we want in due time. And it's, of course, you know, with all the logic, a rather intriguing and cool task to take care of, so I would very much like to look at that. But this is the timer then. We can set... Okay, so we can only set the ticks, basically. It ticks every 7 seconds, milliseconds even, which is crazy. So you can theoretically... Wait. Set delay. Right, okay, so so this is how many ticks pass before it does another thing. Okay, so that is a timer then. Now, the logic gate, I'm not too sure about. I'm thinking we may actually need a controller as well, which would imply that we need to get more glue. So, we'll see about that. We'll just check all these things out first now. So, the logic gate right here, what can you do? I mean, yes, but how do I use this with other things? Oh, maybe this is like the central piece? Oh, I see. I think I see how this is. So, for example, I would have like a controller and a timer. But like, how do I set the timer to influence the... Oh, this is going to be complex. This is going to be pretty darn complex. The one thing I'm pretty sure of is that we will probably need a controller. Now, the thing is, this allows bearings to rotate in sequence, actually. I don't want to rotate a bearing in sequence. I just kind of want to use a piston in sequence and add to that the automated ticking of... So, I think these two... No, wait. Yeah, so these two kind of... the way I imagine it right now, maybe to explain it, is I have a button or a switch that activates this logic gate. This logic gate says activate this timer, and whatever I use to control the piston, the timer then ticks, and every time the timer ticks basically is one activation for the water cannon, which means something gets watered once, and at the same time the controller works on continuously extending the piston for me. Now, the question that I'm kind of wondering about is, can I also, with the controller, control pistons? Because this tells me only bearings at the moment. And I don't see any other kind of control entity that would say I can do something of the same sort with pistons. And I'm kind of worried about that, because I do need something like a controller, right? I think if I would have a controller that's upgraded to level 2, I would probably be able to control all the things I need to have one water cannon on 2 pistons. But if this doesn't help me control it, and as far as I see there's nothing else that would help me control it, that plan would not really work. So I'm kind of worried about that, but I think we'll go and grab the stuff that we need for a controller anyways. The only thing that's really missing is 3 pieces of glue, and I totally left my vehicle over there. So I'm going to hop into the vehicle real quick. I'm going to crack open some clamshells below, well, below the ocean surface, and then we will see if that hopefully gets us what we want. Because if not, I'm not really sure how to get it going. I hope it does, because that would very much make our lives so much easier and save me a lot of time on watering plants that I can spend on, I don't know, mining things, hunting for component kits and other fancy things instead. So I'll just go and grab some of those clamshells, which are pretty far away because I actually cracked some open right here. And once I have all the stuff that I need in this round pond that calls itself an ocean, I will be back with you. Alright everyone, and back we are. As you can see, I am on the way back home now. Just exactly 15 clamshells actually farmed, so very, very nice there indeed. That's going to get us all the glue we ever wanted for that. So let's quickly go and get that stuff underway, and I'm going to actually go and grab whatever else we need for another controller, and then we've just got to hope that it works. We'll also have 4 component kits left over, so that should be enough for a 1-level upgrade should this work, which would then kind of mean that we can potentially, hopefully, just stick with 1 bearing. No, not 1 bearing, but 1 water cannon. The only issue potentially being that we may end up needing a few more component kits to actually upgrade the pistons. So we will see about that. Actually, apparently I made more glue than I thought I needed, so that's very handy. I'm sure we can very much use that somewhere in the future. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm really not quite sure. I hope this will all work out fine for us. I'm just gonna go and quickly do another cut though. I'll see you once this thing is done. Alright, and here we are. The controller is ready for action, and hopefully it will be good enough to get things done. Now, there's a toadbot out here that I want to actually hunt down real quick, because I'm very much not looking forward to that little guy coming into my base and deciding to smash some vehicles to pieces just because he feels like it. So we'll get rid of him, and we'll get rid of his brother as well, apparently, who he so conveniently brought with him. Now, the one question I kind of have is this even wise to get that kind of complex mechanic into our farm when I'm kind of looking to experiment a bit with how much we can actually plant without, like, causing huge chaos, because, like, 50 bajillion bots come yeeting at us, so I don't know. Could be a bit of a risk, but overall, it's honestly not that expensive, I would say, so we will see. Now, I'm just gonna, I think, embed the controller right down below here, and I will probably do the same to, like, the logic gate and the timer. So we will just kind of have to reinforce this piece a bit right here, and then we can kind of embed all our technology right here. Nice and beautifully sleek integration. So, well, the controller goes here. The timer will go, hello? Here. And then the logic gate we will place right here. And hopefully that's everything we need. And hopefully this actually works out the way I thought it would. Now, this is the... It's already called rotation editor. I don't like it. I feel like this is actually not going to work. And if it isn't, then I'm not really sure how to build something like this. Because, I mean, a bearing's not going to do it for me. I kind of need a piston. So, we'll see. I would like to connect this to the piston. That seems to work. Okay, that's good. Now, let's put the water cannon onto here to also kind of prove our point if we don't actually have to have it on the grid of thingamajig. And that actually seems to very much be the case. Nice. And, oh, look at that. Can I, like... I can gradually... Oh, that's actually nice. So I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, for example. Now, the steps are probably going to end up being bigger. But that's actually kind of nice. Now, what is also the case, whoopsie, let's just deactivate that real quick, is that this actually needs to be 0. And now I messed everything up, so we would have 1, we would have 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right, and now let's kind of see how far that actually ends up extending the water cannon out. This is very nice, though. This kind of does everything I kind of had ever hoped for. Now, what we will actually know, we will start with this, and then we'll do the logic thing after. So, this... 1... Oh, wow, right, that's a bit slow. I need to set this to fast. Okay, can we... Okay, God, that is a bit slow. You know, I would like me some faster farming, please. Now, the good news is that this works, so we will upgrade that, because we will need a second thing, and I don't want to kind of be low on component kits for other things. And we have another 2, so we could upgrade this. Now, oh, okay, so I cannot actually set the limit, like, up the limit right there if I... Okay, so this is kind of what determines the limit in the end. So 1, 2. Okay, we don't need to do steps of 1, I suppose. That's 3, it's still the same tile. That's 4, which starts the next. Okay, I think we need to upgrade that, don't we? 6. No, that's 5, actually, isn't it? 6. And the next one should be 7. Yeah. Okay, so I think with 1 upgrade we should get there. This is actually nice. This is working way more smoothly than I thought it would. I'm impressed. Like, I think even this should honestly, hopefully be working in a minute. So let's upgrade that piston once. And what did I say? After 4 tiles? No. I think after 3 or something. So we should be able to do it in steps more like these. So we should have 3, we would have 6, then we would have 9. And that's it, right? Is there any more? No. So that would be what I hope it is. Let's see. 3. That moves it to the next tile. Another 3. Yeah, kind of moves it to that tile. And another 3. Moves it to that tile, and we're still not good. Okay, so we do need another upgrade on the piston to actually be able to reach all this. But other than that, that's actually working just fine. And I think, you know, the added complexity of a second piston will actually be way, way, way better for us in the very end than having, like, multiple water cannons and pistons, because we would spend way more on that in terms of materials. I like this. This is going the right way. Okay, so the last thing I really quickly want to test here, and we probably need to upgrade the controller again just to make it faster. But the last thing I want to test here now is actually this part of the equation. Now, this, I think we would set to AND. That's not working as I thought it would. Because I need to get the timer and this thing going. And I cannot attach this to maybe that is the way then. Because I can attach the button to multiple things if I use a logic gate, but I can't attach it to multiple devices. So if I would do this, and then I would say, like, every 3 seconds do a tick, and the tick will activate that, and this will pull from the water container, which has this. Now, this is, of course, something you will need to end up timing, right? But does this work? 1, 2, 3, tick. Oh my god! Tick. Okay, that's a bit slow. I think the timer is not repetitive. Is the timer not... It's a bit weird. Like, I would imagine that the timer kind of needs to repeat itself, so... If I turn that off... Wait. Did that just turn the timer on? No. Now it just... Okay, I'm kind of confused about the timer thing, but this seems to work. So, we will have to figure out the timer. But overall, I think this is moving a very nice direction. We will have automated watering finally going sometime soon. We'll need some more mats for it, a second piston, some more upgrades for our piston, another upgrade for the actual controller, and we will need to kind of figure out the timer. So if any of you know how this thing works, so that it is kind of repeating itself, because that's kind of what a timer should do in my eyes, please let me know what I did wrong with the timer down below in the comments. Would very much appreciate that as usual. And, well, I hope you all enjoyed the episode. So, as always, if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also make sure to subscribe right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on any future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, as always, everyone, thanks so much for watching, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.